All right. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning.
Morning,
Welcome
morning,
to
morning.
another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. This is your opportunity to share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Today, we're going to be talking about why, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say, I feel this isn't the brothers. I don't know how they feel. Why I feel Black Wall Street won't work.
Why you feel
The
what?
Black Wall Street won't work.
Oh,
And we'll hash it out. We'll talk it out. So I'm just throwing out that I put that title up is to kind of let's get folks in so we can actually have the conversation. Yeah,
yeah.
I did a little what do they call it? What's up, Lisa? Good morning, V. Good morning, sports car lady Cheryl in
Morning.
the building. Good morning. Good morning. Um, what do they call that? Clickbait, but it's not really because we're actually talking about it. So, good morning, Mark. Good morning, Terry in the building. Great
Bro,
morning. So yes, we're
Terry.
gonna have a lively conversation because yeah, we need to talk about these things. All right, boom. So this is your opportunity to share. Like I said before, make sure listen. I want to challenge everybody watching this right now. Everybody, especially in Facebook land, tag somebody, tag at least one person that you say, you know what, they got some insight in this conversation, or we was just having this conversation, or they really need to be a part of this conversation. Because I agree with you, AD. We can't have a Black Wall Street, or this dude is tripping. We need to tell him why we need a Wall Street. So get him in here. Let's argue. Let's fight. But let's have the conversation because we're all about having conversation that's moving us forward. Um, and that is the goal. We're not some sensational group. We're here to actually push a conversation, push the envelope forward, and have the conversations that you guys have quietly in the open.
Yeah.
Because a lot of families are having conversations, but no one's having these conversations in the open, where it's adding dialect or dialogue to areas that we don't discuss. You're not allowed to say that. Don't say that out loud. You're gonna lose your black card. But we need to have these conversations for real, and that's the truth. That's really here. That's our goal and our point to spark something. Pastor he just dropped something like, yo, this is think about this. So I want you guys to really engage, get some other guys in there. If you know another male that's like, you know what, I need this dude to be a part of this conversation, tag him. Just put that tag in there, annoy him. Put a couple of people in there, women, men, children, whatever, whoever you want to tag them, be a part of this conversation. We're going to drop this intro. We're going to get into this content. What up, Ephraim? Good morning. Um, so let's
Morning,
get it.
E.
Let's see. Oh, Terry said a lot of the conversation is talking about the video of that old lady spitting on the young. Oh, and the composure she had. Yeah, I saw it. I didn't get the backstory on that. Yeah, we might.
Happens every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's get into it.
I didn't want to catch
Good
that
morning,
first.
good
Good
morning,
morning.
good
Good
morning, good morning.
Welcome to another
Right,
edition
right.
of Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everybody?
All right, all right. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, let's see. All right, Mama McCory, great morning to you.
Hey, mom.
V said I was fish grease
Oh,
hot about
that's how you
that.
know when a black person mad. A black person from the south when they throw the fish grease hot.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and yes, he said V for that, right? So real quick, having a Black History moment. I need to have a lot more of these. And honestly, I want to try to be more proactive and maybe have one every single day, um, even past February. But today's Black History fact or person is, I'm probably gonna say his name wrong, so forgive me. I don't know if okay, is Cole in the building? Yes, Cole is in the building. Great morning to you, sir. He's my fact checker. O.W. Gurley. O.W. Gurley. So that's actually the person who bought the land that started the Black Wall Street. O.W. Gurley. He actually bought the land to start Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. he first bought land in where was it? Well, he bought land in one area of Oklahoma.
Tulsa.
Tulsa. Well, he bought land in what was it called? Remy, I think it was called, Oklahoma, and it was during the Great Land Rush, like literally running to claim your land. Like I didn't realize it was literally running, and where you stop, you get to claim that land, that piece of land.
Yeah.
And I think, and they said 50 miles. This dude ran. so, and he claimed the land.
Who was it? Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman did a movie like that. I forgot what the name of it was, but yeah, I saw that. I just remember that movie that they came out with, where they were running. You had to put a stake in the ground to claim the land.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You threw it back with that one. That's what bothered me now.
And just in case y'all don't know, and you don't know a lot about running, that's 2 marathons.
That's a lot.
He ran 2 marathons.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's the importance of land, because I would have stopped after a mile. Like, this should be good enough. But yeah, land is important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I was thinking in my head too. Like if someone said, "Yo, I got 50 acres. There's 50 acres, but you got to run. I got to run all the way to McDonough." Just thinking about it. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, right now, like just trying to get there. With no coat on, just. Go, you just gotta stake the land,
I've ran for less. I know Pastor has too. Look, it's 4:30 in the morning, and you just came back from the club and got to run 5 miles. I ran for less.
Yeah.
See, all right, so he had land, and I think it was Remy, Oklahoma. He found out there was oil happening around the Tulsa area, so he sold his land, sold what he had. I think he had a store there, and he bought the land in Tulsa, ultimately established in the area, and he had the vision of building an all-black area, and it was definitely needed, because it was such segregation everywhere. It's like, stop, why not create our own? It's more of a push to create our own. Because and from that, because he created his own, it drew, the black doctors, the black lawyers, those who was already in an affluent, status, to a place where they would have the respect there as well. Because it's not just enough to have money, but at least you have the respect of what you have, and your position and who you are. So I think that helped out tremendously. So just a quick Black History check. O.W. Gurley is the actual person that bought the land that started Black Wall Street. Of course, there were others connected to it, because we know he couldn't have done it by himself, but he had the vision to parse the land out. He created the residential areas, the business areas, and all of that stuff. And there's no telling what kind of codes he invented, the stuff we follow today in business, because it was all, like they said, they had a land rush, so there was the rules were out just everywhere, and so it's no telling. We can dig into history and find out what he had created or laws he put on the books, just to keep control of the area, make sure everything stayed in running correctly. But today,
and before you go there real quick, can
Yes.
I give you another fact that stems from that for all of my old school R&B fans? I know you guys know of the Gap Band. Outstanding. You dropped the bomb on me. And see, that song was really about Black Wall Street. You dropped the bomb on me. They was talking about the city of Tulsa and the sheriff office there.
I don't know, D. That's a stretch, man.
No, it's not a stretch.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. But
hold on.
I'm gonna let Pastor maybe say, because that wasn't my time. But
listen, it's not a stretch.
Okay.
The name of the Gap Band, GAP. They're from Oklahoma, and they named themselves that after Black Wall Street. The 3 major streets that intersected in the heart of Black Wall Street was Greenwood, Archer, and Pine Street. This is what the Gap Band named their band after, of those 3 streets being from Oklahoma and being from the Tulsa area. So that's an absolute fact. It's not a stretch. So
all right, I'll look into it.
hey,
Let me go pull out Uncle Charlie.
Look, fact check me all day. I'm
We got
telling
Cole
you.
in the building. Cole, the fact checker.
Hey, go. Hey, hey, matter of fact, y'all
Yes,
gonna
sir.
trust Cole when he said so. So Cole, I'm gonna need you to fact check while you watching, my brother.
Okay, so he said she's precious. She
Yes,
said
he
they
is.
did explain how they got their name. Okay, I don't know if that's she's co-signing on that. Oh,
Yeah, we
that's
need
good.
clarity. They explain how they got their name. Is it consistent with what we've heard from the floor? No, I mean, I didn't know that history, so I can't comment on it.
I got you.
Hey, well, I'm gonna
You-
fact
That's
check here
when
in
you
a
dropped the
second, and
bomb
I'm
on me. No, I was thinking about a woman.
Yeah, that's
and,
been up
Right,
the
right.
whole time.
Right.
because you guys
Fooled
do
me.
you guys do realize that the sheriff department dropped sticks of dynamite out of crop dust and airplanes over the
Yeah.
city,
No,
right?
no,
That's what it
I'm with you
That
on
I
the
know.
city. It's just the connection with them that's kind of like.
Okay, so
But
what
if that's it, then great. Because I know they used to sneak
what
stuff
I'm
in the
gonna what
song.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into an app. I mean, I'm gonna go into another window, and when I get it, AD, I'm gonna just want you to share that screen so you
No,
can.
man, you can't fact check yourself.
Well,
You the same source.
well, I'm just saying you have
We
the
need,
ability.
we need to hear the people. Somebody, Cole, sports car lady. We need to hear the people. Y'all got fact check us.
Listen. I just looked up like the lyrics to the song.
Okay.
You were the girl that changed my world. You were the
Yeah,
girl for me. You lit the fuse. I stand accused. You were the first for me.
Right.
But you turned me out, baby.
Turn me out.
Yeah.
You know,
dropped the
uh,
bomb
Yeah.
on me.
If it is, then that's
I
wonderful.
can't connect that with Tulsa.
Because they did drop the bombs, like
Right.
the bombs,
They
like
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't dispute that. We don't dispute
Yeah.
that. Oh man.
I guess I'm gonna have to see if I can find an interview with Charlie, spitting it out. So, because you understand that he probably wouldn't have sold any music off of that
Right,
on a
right,
major
right.
label if he came out and
Yeah, I
specifically
run with you
said
on
it.
that. If that was his intent, he would have had to do it the way he did it. Yes, I agree with you on that.
But we'll get to that later. Well, let's get back to business at hand, right?
Yeah,
it's
that was
like-
good.
it's
I know. I'm
like
sorry. We
history,
got
though.
off into the weeds there. We got into the weeds right there. Okay, hold on. Cole said the Gap Band is named after Greenwood District in Tulsa.
Okay.
Boom. All right. Greenwood,
All right, we there?
Archer, and Pine. All right. He said you dropped the bomb on me was about a woman putting that thing on him.
It's what I thought, but I don't. I'm with what D's saying. If they had this, if they were gonna sneak a message in, they would have had to done it.
Yeah.
that
Oh
way.
yeah, definitely.
I
That
watched.
was well hidden. That was well hidden.
I watched the interview with Uncle Charlie Wilson and Snoop,
Okay.
and he was telling Snoop the hidden meaning behind the song. So I'm
Okay.
gonna
Oh,
see
the
if I can dig that up. But
Okay, that's
Okay.
cool. And
All I gotta say, it was well hidden.
Right. Oh, all right.
in
So
plain sight.
oh, so my question today, and I put it out into a statement, and as I said in the beginning of the show, all those that are watching, the statement for me is, why Blackstreet won't work. That's from me. That's not from the brothers. We're gonna get their opinions on it as well. But do you think in 2021 that we can or should build or create a Black Wall Street where it is everything is owned by blacks? Because there are towns now ran, by predominantly black people. Some cities that are
Here in
ran
Georgia.
by. I mean, yeah, Georgia, Atlanta. It's kind of like that. But do you feel like an actual like the Tulsa, Oklahoma Black Wall Street, or should we be thinking differently when it comes to economics, local economics, or black economics? I'm gonna shoot that over to Pastor. What do you think, sir?
Well, we have Mr. Reparations on here, Ephraim Terrell.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to walk lightly.
Give the people their money.
No, I am a believer. Like we talked about this the other day, that having this black and white conversation is old for me, right? I'm more motivated to level the playing field than I am of trying to
All right. Separate.
establish a quote unquote black thing.
Okay.
That's just my feeling. So for that reason, no, I don't agree with a Black Wall Street. I agree with I'm more interested in a level playing field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know,
Okay.
and I feel you. I do. For me, I think the end game is level playing field.
Okay.
I feel we've been marginalized, downtrodden, whatever Black history word you want to use to describe us
All
people
right.
for so long.
Right.
You have to aggressively catch us up to have a playing field. Somebody put it like this: one of Biden's nominees, it escapes me now, but they were well. Let's put it this way: they said like trying to do an even playing field now would be like running a race, somebody already halfway down the track, and they say, okay, now we're gonna stop cheating. Okay, so it's now it's fair. Now just catch up to me, even though I'm already ahead. The
Right.
wealth gap, I believe, and you can talk to different economists, everybody got different numbers, but
Right.
still it holds true that it would take a couple hundred years for blacks to catch up. They even have Hispanics outpacing us right now financially to catch up with whites. So we run stats on here before, and I hate to go in the stat game about the number and the dollars and how long they stay in the community.
Right.
But I want to get to the equal playing field. But the push for reparations is so important, and I believe it even more so now with all these stimulus checks. But the push for it is just so that it can help us catch up. Will somebody act a fool? I would bet my draws on it. But it would give an opportunity for people to catch up. We have to catch up. They have pushed us so far behind the game, so far. If they say we changing the rules and we're not doing it, we're not going to cheat anymore. I'm still behind.
I just want to respond to that, AD, if I can.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You just said that the Latino community has passed us up. They've gained ground even more. They're closer than we are. And then the question I would ask is, how long have they been in the game? How long did it take them, right? Because if they were able to do it, then so can we. That because you're proving the point, right? If the way is made, it won't take long. That's the thing. For me, it's always going to be biblical. You missed Bible study last night because Bible study last night in the book of Exodus was all about the promise God made to Abraham and how he said that your descendants would multiply. They would prosper even in the midst of hardship. Pharaoh was hard on them, hard labor. That the Bible says that he assigned taskmasters in Exodus chapter 1 to put them into hard labor. They had to serve with rigor, is what the Bible says. But yet they continued to increase in number to the point to where the Egyptians were afraid that if a war broke out, that the Israelites could team up with the Hittites, the enemy of the Egyptians, and conquer them. All right. What am I saying? I'm saying that it doesn't matter how hard they pressed, the Israelites continued to prosper. And what I'm saying is the greatest fear that this world has, that this nation has, is opening up the field. It won't take us long to be where they are. You have to think about this. If every black millionaire gave $50,000 to a cause, any cause, a black agenda, what impact would that have on this nation? I'm talking about every black millionaire going out and buying an average car, a $50,000 car. If every black millionaire gave $50,000, what kind of financial impact would that have in the game? Right. And so the reality is we have people in very pivotal positions already. We have black CEOs. We have black investment bankers. Right. We have blacks who own banks. John Bryant, is a global name. He's a global icon when it comes to the financial industry. Right. A man who started sleeping in his car in South Central Los Angeles. Now travels the globe talking about finance to every other financial institution on the planet. So what I'm saying is, we have black politicians. We have people in place. We have blacks on Wall Street in pivotal positions. Right. So if you just open the gate, there's nothing else we need. And it doesn't have to be black. That's what I'm like. It doesn't take us long to catch up on anything. Put us in a race. I promise you. If you put a black person in a race with every other nationality,
Right.
and say go, and they all have the same qualifications, come on, man.
You talk about opening up the field. America been doing that. They've been opening up the field and they've been trying to grow the economy. And I heard a preacher say this. He said that he used an example about a gardener and doing pesticide on his yard, and he told him to stay off the weeds. And he was saying that when you spray the garden, that they were hitting. The man was so surgical with it that he was hitting the weeds as well as the flowers. And America has been growing its economy at our expense. We have been getting poisoned, dried out, and rotten. And it's not fair because no other race has gone through what we've gone through. We are carrying the heaviest load. Forget America, that life can offer. And Hispanics haven't had to go through it. So people are growing. Asians are growing. People are growing inside our community. Indians got every perfume, jewelry shop in the mall. So people are growing within our economy because they're not under the scrutiny, the pressure that we own. We got a good brother that can make it home. He's driving home. He's just trying to make it home. So he's a good brother. He's educated. He's doing right for the community, but he got to worry about getting killed. People are just under a different kind of freedom than we are. So we're trying to grow past it. But like even with those Israelites, you say prosper. I said they continued, just the number kept going up, but they weren't prospering. Pharaoh was still in charge. They were just threatened by the numbers. So I'm just saying.
But hold on, because the point that I'm trying to make is whatever room they were given, they prospered. Right? That's all I'm saying. And to your point, you're right. You have, 80 said it earlier, you have to own the land.
Right.
If you don't control the land, you can't. You have no control over who gets put on the land. And when you talk about other nationalities that are prospering, that's because they're being given the contract.
Right.
Okay, so you're against reparations because, and I don't, not to put words in your mouth, but in essence, it's more of a handout, and we need to just not wait on somebody to give us something, right? So with the people, like, is that not accurate?
No, I'm saying I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I say it's not a valiant argument. That's what I'm saying. I don't need. What I'm trying to say is it's not necessary. That's all I'm saying. I don't. If they give it, I'll take it. But what I'm saying is I don't want to expend all my energy fighting for something that they're not going to give me. I'd rather fight for a level playing field.
There's a
last question.
Family here.
Trying to get in there.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and you can ask your last question. I'm gonna get Dwayne in there.
19. I'm sorry, D. There's 19. I just want my people to get this money. It's 19 families here in Georgia that went ahead and got they bought some land. They're calling it Freedom, Georgia.
Yes.
So it's gonna be them carving out their own spot to start to give us people. It's a literal attempt to make a Black Wall Street. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not waiting on the government. It's that they combined their funds, they carved out some land, and they're trying to prosper. So would you be behind a move like that? That's not waiting on the government. That's not waiting on the handout. That's somebody trying to make it happen. Give us a chance. It's the American dream, because all the land they own, they bought a whole town, but yet and still they still gonna have to be supported.
Yeah.
I saw it as well. I was looking like they got a ways, because they didn't have. It looks like they just got land, and like just land in the middle of some land.
Yeah. And
and me and Sam was like, there's no electricity. It looks like no plumbing. Like they gotta have they are ground zero with building. For real. Like this is gonna be maybe their grandchildren really start prospering with this. Which is cool because you're building.
But that's every development though starts
right. But guess what? Hey, listen, in my zip code, they're talking about. My wife they're talking about bringing a Whole Foods to this end of town. You want to know why?
There's nothing out there.
You want to know? I'm here. There's plenty out here.
There's nothing out there.
There's a lot coming. Do you know my property value? I bought this house 2 years ago. My property value has increased 10% in less than 2 years.
Congratulations,
right? Because of the planning.
Right. Just to talk
because of what's coming.
Right.
Shaq is down here.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq is the reason why they're bringing a Whole Foods. I'm like, what y'all think Shaq can come in and buy the store out every day? But I'm saying
Right.
one
Right.
person's influence who looks like me
Right.
is bringing jobs, industry to this area
Mm-hmm.
down here, just because he lives here.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm saying you can't have that type of influence. Do you got, and I don't want to get AD, you got some more stuff. I just, when you talk about influence, and I hear what you're saying, E, because, you know, they don't want to play fair is your point. They don't want to play fair. I saw, anybody remember Ruby Bridges?
Yes.
Who was Ruby Bridges?
The child that went to the segregated school. The first child when they desegregated. When they were trying to desegregate. Yeah.
That was part of the desegregation in New Orleans, Louisiana, in 1960. I forgot the name of the school, some school.
Right.
And this is what I saw. I saw the crowds of people out there that were against desegregation.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The white folks who didn't want her going to school. And I kept thinking to myself, Lord, this is a 6-year-old girl. They're calling her a hero, but at 6 years old, you don't even know the impact of what you're doing.
Right.
And it's not you doing it, it's your parents sending you to a school.
Right.
Right. So it wasn't her, it was her parents. It was a movement, and she happened to be the tool that they used. So she represented a movement and didn't even know what she was getting into. Right. There's no way that child could understand why these other children were leaving the school, why I'm the only child in my class. She couldn't understand that. Not really. Right. And what I realized, this is what I realized. The type of crowd, when I saw the pictures of the crowds, it reminded me of what just happened on Capitol Hill.
True.
Right?
Right.
That was 1960. This is 2021.
Right.
And it was the same type of crowd fighting against change.
Yeah.
Right. So I say that to say, E, I understand your position. It's like, we got to have our own because they're not going to give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I want to make to you is that going back to Exodus, there were so many of them. They continue to grow. We can grow so much to where they won't really have a choice.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm not talking about growing in numbers. I'm talking about growing in position. That's what I'm talking about. Growing in connectivity, in oneness of mind. I'm saying when enough of us get together, somebody's going to pay attention, right? They have been able to live off the fact that we've been divided for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
Jump in there, Dwayne.
I see both points and I agree with both points, but I think there's levels and I think they're talking about two different levels. And it's the same thing. I don't think it's the same fight, and it's the same war but different battles. If I can say it that way, it's the same war but different battles. Because when it comes to E's point of view, I just want to point out to America, hey, everybody knows that out of every country we've bombed, out of every nationality we've hurt, or we've had some type of anguish or pain that was inflicted by the American government, they've all been paid. Everybody except Africans that came that are now American citizens. And so for that, America, shame on you. And the fact that we have to even ask when it comes to the direct success of America, no other demographic can say that is more due to us than anybody than us.
Right.
Like,
Lost you.
We lost you.
Yeah,
she muted you. She muted you. She said, "That's enough. That's enough."
She kicked my mic out of place. But when it comes to the success of America, slavery, black invention, black contribution, it's I don't know a percentage, but I know it's a large percentage of what America's success looks like.
Absolutely.
And we've been slapped in the face and say, yeah, continue to sit at the back of the classroom, the back of the bus, and be happy that you ain't a slave no more.
Right.
But on the other level of it, the reality that the reality that Pastor's talking about is the reality of it. She only likes talking when I talk. You notice that, right?
Right.
She responds to her father's voice. That's what that is.
Pastor, that's a word right
That'll
there.
preach, yeah.
That's a word right.
They know his voice.
Yes, sir.
But on another reality, which is probably more real than anything else, is what Pastor is alluding to, and that's the hey.
We both said-
I know who I serve. I know what He's placed in me, and I know my potential and my ability.
Right.
And Pastor saying, I will bet on that. I will bet on me and these circumstances more than anything else. So I think
Always bet on black.
hey, and I'll look, and I'm gonna leave it, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
You know, my only concern, Pastor, because what you offering is a valid strategy and might be the only option we get. It's just it's a waiting game. It's wait it out and see, not win. Well, I guess win. I guess, like you said, if we're confident, we bet on black, and we're sure that we'll rise to the top. It's just like how long and who has to suffer for that. So how many more generations of Terrells have to deal with what I dealt with before we get there? And I don't want to keep being the guy, that waits, because historically in the black community, we wait for 18 generations before we get a Barack Obama. Nobody ain't gonna do right till we get us a LeBron in the family, and all right, baby, now solve all our problems. So it's a strategy, but I personally struggle. So just to say, man, do I sit back and wait? You got to prosper. You got to do something in the meantime. But man, how long?
Right.
Bro.
I guess Pastor, you said something to the
No,
the
listen.
fact that
I'll give you one name. You said,
right.
How long do we have to wait? Amanda Gorman. Who's Amanda Gorman?
went blank.
That's the girl with the speech, right?
The girl who the poet laureate.
Oh, I knew that name sounded familiar. Okay.
Poet.
She was on Super Bowl
Right.
too.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say to you is, the minute you open the door, Amanda's waiting.
Right.
We don't have to get ready.
Right.
We're ready.
Right.
Right.
You understand?
James Brown.
And this is why I always take it back to the scripture. Yeah, James. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because we got it. We have everything we need to make it happen. And so the question is, what do you do while you're waiting? See, waiting isn't standing still.
Right.
Waiting is what's in the book of the book called Outliers. Right. Waiting is doing everything you need to do so that when the opportunity presents itself, you've already got your 10,000 hours in.
Right.
You've already perfected your gift.
Right.
That's the waiting period. And the rest of it is the opportunity presenting itself.
Right.
And what I'm trying to say to you is, who would have thought that we would know Amanda Gorman today?
Right. You're right.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
big.
Go ahead.
That's big. How old is that young lady? Anybody know off the top of your head? Because when I first saw her on,
like that.
the first time I seen her, of course, was the inauguration. She looked like she was like 16. Then I seen her.
I thought she was just like.
Then I seen her somewhere. I was like,
school.
okay, now she looks like 25. So it's just, that's why I asked, because I was like, is she like young or is she like older? So 20 something. Yeah, I know, because she looked like really young. All right, Cole said it's like the argument people wage when people complain about black athletes.
23.
Against 23. Okay, against ownership. Whites argue for ownership and say that man is getting paid. He should be happy where he is and say nothing. Black sides with the player. I'm contributing to this team. I should have a say. All right. Thank you, guys. Look, Kate in the building. Great morning to you, ma'am.
Keita.
22. Yeah. So,
22. Okay.
and it's funny that you bring up the sports argument. And siding with that, I was listening to a podcast how they was talking about the difference between how the Commission of Basketball (NBA) was treating their players as opposed to how the NFL commissioner was treating their players at the time. About
You muted yourself.
Oh, that's I'm like, who is that? That's my son. That's my son. I'm sorry, he's in class. And how the NBA players were being more getting to the place where being considered more partners as opposed to just employees or workers in a sense. Whereas NFL had their players considered just like workers. I think they're trying to move them into a partnership more. Because of the backlash and things changing and things of that nature. So just an interesting thought on that, the sports.
Well, I mean, think about this. Think about the fact that after the melee in Detroit, the NBA changed the dress code.
Right.
So the NBA did tell grown men how to dress.
Right.
Okay. Right. You think about the brotherhood that makes up the ownership of the NFL.
Right.
I was having a conversation with my daughter during the Black Lives Movement. She lives in Kentucky, getting ready to move to Georgia. She just got a house.
Meow, 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 meow.
She said, Daddy, we don't have those kind of problems here in my city. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have those kind of problems? You do have problems with race in your city. She said, we don't have those people out on the street marching and protesting. We don't have that kind of stuff here. I said, that's because in your small town, everybody knows who's in charge.
Right. No struggle.
Right?
Come on, get to the nitty gritty.
It's, there were people who used to say, we have our blacks under control back in the day.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And you knew not to play the game because you knew you couldn't win. That's why you don't
good
have
blacks.
It's not that racism doesn't exist. It's just that in your city, everybody understands their place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'll know that as soon as somebody tries to step out of line, you will understand just how much power your local sheriff has, just how much power your mayor has. You'll see it. The reason you don't see it is because everybody already knows.
Right. And if you go to another black person, like, hey, let's do it. They're like, no, we don't want to make them upset.
Yeah.
The thing is, you don't hear, like, black people get in trouble, they get arrested. You don't hear about what happens.
Right.
Because the story doesn't get anywhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that's the thing that people have to understand. And, Black Lives Matter is because of social media. People have been getting the word out.
Yeah.
Word travels. You can't control cell phones. But you need to understand there are still small towns where they don't have the courage to publicize anything because they have to live there. If you don't have the money to pack up and move, you're going to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you got generational renters in certain cities, certain
Yeah.
small towns and stuff. And these people aren't going to say anything.
Yeah, I work on
That's
one.
true.
They have even going back with the sports for a second and just talking about how they switched the game up. Maverick Carter, LeBron's business partner, they have that what's it? One clutch on clutch. They got a sports agency, right? So
Clutch Sports.
Yeah, so they're trying to represent the athletes, and this happened like a year ago or whatever. But they're really trying to grab all the college talent. So they jump in the game in the I always say NAACP, NCAA.
Gotcha.
They changed up the rules. Once LeBron and Maverick jumped in, they said if you're going to be an agency that represents us, our players, our student athletes, then you have to have a master's degree. And they literally did it after they filed.
No, you have a 4-year degree.
4-year
Yeah, because he didn't finish college.
He didn't finish college.
Wow.
So and the timing is like you can't even deny it. Now, of course, they went back on it. They changed it up. But like, and like Dwayne, I think he put it best. We just feeling like it's two different arguments, because I see Pastor's point there. But when I see the people in power making those moves, I say, well, see, this is why we got to take it. This is why we need give us all our stuff and let us go our way.
But you also see the influence that we have
Right.
When the players got together, college players got together, like, this is not getting ready to happen. You know, you do this and you won't see any of us.
Right.
That's why I'm with taking the money
Right.
and funding our
Right.
own thing.
Can I just make some points?
And that's why I'm with getting together with
And
one
funding our own
mind.
thing.
Because money didn't make that change. A mindset did.
True.
One
And
mind did.
that's why I want everybody to start sending their money. The Deion Sanders and all the work he doing down there. Like, let's start snatching the athletes. Let's start snatching the money.
Right.
Like, let's use past our influence. Let's like, I'm not trying to make some two Americas and send them back to Spain or wherever white people come from. What I'm saying is, like, let's get our own. Let's get it strongly, firmly established. You know what I'm saying? Let's get our
Deion
own.
is snatching up.
Deion ain't no joke. I
left
want to go
and
play
right.
for Deion right now. Like he got me so hyped. You know, he gets.
Yeah.
But what is
He
it?
goes to Jackson
What is
State.
Deion doing that's different than the other HBCUs? He's getting
That's the thing.
funding.
It's not what he's doing, bro.
It's who
what
he
has
is.
done.
It's who he is.
Right. It's what he's done. It's been years of work. Deion has been communicating with these players for years. Deion behind it's what you don't see.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That has him where he is right now. He did, like, what was what the rapper said? What it was LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years.
Yeah.
This has been a lifestyle for Deion Sanders, just like Ray Lewis, guys like that. They have been going to these small towns. They've been talking to these young guys. They've been talking to these parents. They've been involved in programs. They've been coaching for years.
Right. Right.
And he got the opportunity, and he is getting ready to change the game in college sports.
Yeah.
Right. Just a quick note. E just talked about, giving and things of that nature. If you feel like you want to practice give, go to $BOL 2019.
I hate
Give
when you
into
segue me,
this
bro.
awesome platform as we grow and develop and create our own. You want to give back to your own. This is where you can start, and get empowered, and this be your practice run as you give to the other organizations. We do appreciate all of your giving, and thank you so much for being a part of Brothers of Legacy. We're not closing out. I'm just a quick segue right there. Felt like that was a good opportunity to throw that in there, because we are growing and we're reaching and expanding, and this is our goal to not only spread the message through our conversations, but make change happen locally and around our country. Let's see. Cole put up a comment. He said, in the NBA, it looks revolutionary because the players seem to have more of a say than any sport. However, the ownership quietly makes their presence felt. Hence why you didn't see players kneel until the bubble. The NBA and the NBPA had an agreement in place as to no demonstrations during the national anthem. Mohammed Abdul Raf was ushered out of the league because of such demonstrations 25 years ago.
And that man was nasty.
Yeah,
I can't believe you tore his name up like that.
Did I mess it up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Forgive me, guys.
Hey, it was your best shot.
Sorry, my bad.
And look, this would
I was one of them. I did one of them moves.
You would have been better off being like they was in the barbershop on Coming to America. His mama named him Chris. I'm gonna call him Chris.
I'm gonna follow what his mama called.
Right. They are in. Halcino said they are in power. Their own things. We must have our own. Have to know how to govern yourself.
Yeah.
True, but unfortunately, with people in the NBA, those in the NFL, you have to work in the system to gain the capital to build your own system. I feel you, E. We're seeing these other communities pool their resources so well and lift one of their own up. You want to see the same with the Black community. What's up, Rich? Rich. Keita says, "Quick break." Yes, indeed. You know how we do. Craig Hodges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, George Bush. That was senior.
Yeah. Thank you, Cole. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, brother. I'm just have Google read it next time.
Can I offer some insight as like the analyst side of me?
Break it down, bro.
This is what I see. After May 9th, 1865, you know what happened?
May 9th, my birthday, by the way.
That was that. Your birthday is the official day that we were free, bro. But on that day, look, on that day, 1.2 million 1.2 million blacks hit the job market. And guess what? They were way more qualified than anybody else
Right.
in the arena.
Right.
So you know what America does? They create unions.
Right.
Well, not America, but a sector of America. They created unions.
Right.
And these unions said that, hey, you got to go to this school. Hey, you got to have this qualification. Hey,
Right.
and you know
Change
what?
the game.
You know why that was? Because we know we control these qualifications in these schools, and if you don't have them, you can't work. Or we'll make an exception, and you got to take half the money that we make.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So fast forward to LeBron James. LeBron James didn't have a college education because he was good enough to do the job straight out of high school.
Right,
and do it on a higher level than probably 90 to 95% of the people he was facing at that time.
Right.
So you fast forward to him. Hey, wait a minute. We know Moses Malone did it and he got championships. We know Kevin Garnett did it and got a ship, but they ain't doing it like you. And they don't influence the game like you. And when he created his own agency, wait a minute.
Yep.
You got to have this to sit at this table.
Yep.
So we got to start being proactive, even in our strategy.
Yeah.
Even in the strategy. When we see we're about to do something that's blockbuster that maybe hasn't been done before by us, we got to already be ready for the pushback and have the pushback as a part of our strategy, not just a reaction.
D, let me ask you something, man, because you just raised something to me. So AD said earlier we got to get in the league and get the money, and then we can do our own thing. So all us just got a $50 million signing bonus. What's the problem? Why don't I take a percent of my money? You take a percent of yours. Why don't we see more combining?
That's Ice Cube with the 3-on-3.
He went. What you mean?
How's it doing?
I was wondering about it.
He was getting a little. He had a little traction. People wanted to watch it.
I know, but it's still an organization today. When's the last time you saw a game?
I haven't seen one since the pandemic.
Yeah, I think. Matter of fact, Mahmoud was the last time. That was the last time I saw him. It was in the Big Three.
He made.
Yeah, but my question is, why don't you tune in? The only way they make money is by viewership. So why don't you watch?
Oh, I was on it.
It was started by a black man. So why isn't every black person in America watching that to make sure that he's successful?
That's my question.
Good.
Like
Good.
why aren't we combining and throwing up high schools and T.I. and Jay-Z start their own car line? That is my question. What's the
very reason, the same reason I said earlier, oneness of mind, coming together. It's not, see what I'm saying? That's my point. When I talk about a level playing field, they don't have any leverage if we come together. The same way Maverick Carter was able to successfully get past that, they couldn't stop it. They couldn't control it because there were too many people together.
Right.
Ice Cube was able to get all those guys out of retirement and motivated all of them to get in shape and come play basketball for a fraction of what they were playing for. Because of their love of the game. And viewership was high in the beginning, but it tapered off. Now nobody watches.
Oh, we dig
And
into
it's not that he wasn't given an opportunity because he doesn't own any networks.
Right.
Somebody had to let him on the network to play the games.
Right.
But if you don't have the viewership, they're not going to keep you on the network because there's no sponsorship.
Right.
So my point is we have to come together.
Yeah.
Because if we come together, we won't need any handouts because he was able to put an entire league together, 3 men on the court at the same time. Right.
That'd be interesting to throw that together. Tyler Perry. I mean, just all these big names that we know have the capability to just get behind one another. Like
Tyler Perry is another one, bro. Help me understand how a black man was able to come to Georgia, buy enough land, and build a studio that is bigger than the 3 main studios in Hollywood.
Yes.
How does that happen? You know how it happens? It happens because there were enough people in the industry that says, if you build it, we'll be there.
Right. That's true.
And no one could stop him.
That's true.
You know how hard it is to buy that kind of land in Georgia?
Not
Yeah,
only that
yeah,
type of land, but
and
that type
maintain
of
it.
land from the U.S. federal government.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah,
that's leverage, bro. That's having enough people with leverage
Right.
that are pivotal in the room, sitting at the table.
Right. Right.
hmm
That's what
And
I'm saying. I'm saying it's the same thing. And all I'm saying is, if we had more of that,
right.
yeah.
we don't need anything. We have everything we need. He
But
he
no, but
he
my
don't even make great movies.
but the disconnect for
You
me
didn't say that.
is a shout out to Acrimony, which is a wonderful movie.
Yeah,
But
That was
my,
good.
I guess what I'm
every
saying
now and then you get one, you get a golden one.
the disconnect for me is why isn't it happening? I'm with you, Pastor. I believe in black. I'm black. I've been black my whole life. But I'm just saying, I just hope. Well, I'm just trying to figure out why don't we come together? Why
I'll
can't
give you my
why
opinion, E.
Spike Lee and Tyler got a beef? You know why? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh wait, hold on. Spike beefing
This
with Spike beef with everybody. Anybody black in the industry.
does that make it
That don't
right?
make it right, but that's just Spike Lee. That's
but
that's his
this,
first.
this is what I'll say, E. This is what I'll say, E. Most people think that there's not enough to go around, and that's part of our problem, because there's enough to go around. Everybody can eat.
And now they
Like,
harmony.
yeah, Jay-Z and Nas were both amazing, but they had different lanes, even though they were great at what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough to go around. I'm gonna let y'all continue this conversation.
Listen, I know a family, me, AD, and E know a brother who was the eldest of one, two, three, four, of five. Jason Fletcher.
Oh.
I don't like to put his name out there.
Right.
But if you live in the South, and if you hear long enough, you know there are Fletchers everywhere.
Everywhere. Right.
Everywhere.
Right.
They have an army. You hear me? And
Right.
I'm talking about a group of people born in the South, raised in the South. Father, I don't even think he completed his education. Died many years ago, and instilled a good hard work ethic in his children. All right. They started having family reunions. Brother Fletcher, Jason Fletcher, was put in charge as the patriarch of the family, and he started managing these annual reunions for he and his family, him and his siblings. And they, over the years, every year the family reunion got larger and larger and larger. All right. Now they can rent out an entire park to host their family reunion. They got together. They have raised so much money
Right.
that I believe that they can internally provide any loan to any member of the family that's in need. Right? They got their education. They've been making their money, and they don't have to go outside and ask anybody for anything. And that's just one family. Now, I'm saying there are many families that are like that.
Yeah.
In America. All right. But the issue is that you have a tribal mindset. It's me and mine. And that's what happens in business, right? I applaud what I see in the Fletcher clan, because I call them a clan, because they're everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere. Trust.
And they move how they want to move, and they do whatever they want to do, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that if more of us had that type of mindset, even going beyond the family, going into the business world, then we would not have to ask anyone for anything. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. And so you asked the question, what's preventing us from doing that?
Yeah.
That's the question. What is preventing us from doing that?
Right.
Right. I don't want you to say it out loud, AD, but we have people who get on this platform every day, faithful followers, and that Cash App is there every day, right? I wonder what that balance looks like. How many have actually seeded
Right.
into
what
this
we're saying.
platform with as much as we talk about trying to make a difference, trying to do more for the community, get with these young fellas and make a difference. How many have actually pulled out their phone
Right.
and said, I support you, even if it's
Right.
$5, $10, right? It's and I'm not, I don't want to put anybody down. I encourage and I'm grateful for everybody that has done it. But that mindset, you get on here every day and listen.
Right.
But have you gotten on here and planted seed where you put your attention?
Right.
And if more of us have that kind of mindset, we would not be sitting around here debating or arguing about reparations.
No,
We wouldn't even
absolutely.
be talking about someone opening a door and making room for us because we would bust the door down.
I got, and listen, and I'm with 1,000% everything you said. My butt only comes because I look at reparations, unfortunately, like a car accident. You banged up, you ran me over. Yeah, it's been 10 years, but how you just gonna get away with it? I think that's been my issue
I think
sometimes.
she agrees
Because I
with
feel
you.
what you're saying, Pastor. Like I feel like it's almost like, don't waste your energy fighting for this thing that may be impossible to get. And I'm dumb enough to believe that it is possible. It's like UBI. Don't come back to that soon enough. But I think it's possible. But yeah, it's like, yeah, there you go. I knew how Stephen at least jump in there and agree with that one. Reparations of debt that's old had nothing to do with our financial status at all. So I that's already paid. Oh, whatever. I'm not sure what he's speaking of, but yeah. So that's why I kind of look at it like a debt that's owed, but I do understand the expending of energy and the coming, and we should have the coming together as well. Like even if every 100 African Americans, Black Americans, however you want to look at it, community came together, pooled our resources, to help each other grow. That's fine too, but it's still like, yo, hey, you still owe us. Don't forget, I'll be up there on Park Ave, but you still owe me. Like I that's kind of how I look at it, and I know it's like crazy, but at the same time, a crime was committed against us.
But that's not crazy. That's not crazy. A crime was committed, and they do owe us. What I'm saying is, are we going to spend our lives trying to prove to them how much they owe us, or are we going to go make something happen? And what I'm saying is, we are making something happen. Let's be more effective in how we make it happen. And all I'm saying is, there at some point it won't even matter.
Right.
You can't change the fact that they owe us. It was done.
Right.
I mean, the crime was committed, and you owe restitution. Period. Right. But what I'm saying is, like E said earlier, that's like spraying the weeds and the flowers together. You can spend so much time fighting for that you're killing opportunity.
Right.
This is a quote from the 19 families that purchased 96.71 acres of land in Georgia. They wanted to build a thriving Black safe haven. They said, we figured we could try to fix a broken system, or we could just start fresh. So they started the city, and they invest in something, so they could just build something that's based around their core values and beliefs. So I'm with it. Either pay us the money, or one of you Black brothers come bring me some money, and I bring you my money, and we go start something. Together. Right. But like
they said, I'm sorry. Go ahead, E.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
They said that of all of the policies that Joe Biden is trying to put in place for COVID relief, right? The tax, they want to add $3,000 for every child under 6 years old, and I forgot what the number was, between 6 and 17 or 7 and 17, and it's going to be commensurate with the income for family. It reduces for any families making more than $75,000 a year. Mm-hmm. The one piece of the economic package that they're struggling to pass is the raising of minimum wage to $15. Right. They're saying that the raising of minimum wage to $15 will cost, like something like 1.4 billion or million jobs, or whatever the case might be, and the debt over the next 10 to 15 years would increase by so many billions of dollars.
Yeah, that's been a big argument. Yeah.
So what they're saying is, instead of just paying you a higher wage, they'd rather give you a handout.
Mm.
All right. The government is more comfortable giving you a handout than they are paying what they owe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
Okay, I'm
That-
slightly confused. Just clarify this real quick for me, because I can, for me, when it comes to the higher wage, I disagree simply because of the aspect of inflation that's going to come with it. If you pay somebody who works at McDonald's 15 an hour and they're currently making, I don't know what, 10, 11,
8.
8, okay, 8, and you want to make it 15 for McDonald's to continue to make their profits, that means a Big Mac meal is now going to cost $10 and some change. I ain't willing to pay $10 and some change. So yeah, they're gonna lose their job because I don't eat there anyway. But the times that I do want a Big Mac, I
ain't paying
definitely ain't
10.
finna pay no $10 for one.
listen to my point. The
Okay.
point that I'm trying to make. Here's the point that I'm trying, and you're absolutely right. That's what they do. If I got to pay somebody $15 as opposed to $10, then I'm going to lay somebody off. That's the cost of job, right? If I got to pay somebody $15 instead of $10, then I'm going to make you pay more towards your benefits, and I'm going to pay less because you're costing me money.
All right.
Right? My point is there's enough profit being made in these organizations where you can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Millions of dollars in
And
bonuses.
that boosts the economy. You don't have to change the price of the burger because you're paying somebody a higher wage.
Nope.
That's just not true. That's what they tell you.
Right.
But if you go look at the numbers
Right.
and the cost of business
$18 million.
with McDonald's, I'm
18
sorry,
million.
that's just not true.
Just
18
lose the
million.
company jet. That's it.
18
No,
million.
I'm just saying, but
Give
you,
up the comfort.
The
but
CEO makes $18 million.
yeah, but that's the point.
$18
You
million.
couldn't, you
And that's
couldn't-
probably
you
not
couldn't
including his
his.
bonus.
You think he
Right.
care about? You think he care about your reparations while he driving his Bentley?
I understand.
He is
Right,
black.
and no,
But here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
defending it.
The
I'm
point
not
Shout out to
is,
the black brother.
here's what you must understand. The $3,000 or the $1,200 stimulus, they'll give you that and it'll be gone in a week. But if you raise my pay,
You changed my life.
right? That's better than giving me a fish. That's teaching me to fish.
No doubt.
They don't want us fishing.
Right.
That's the reality.
And you're right, sir. And the only reason I brought that up is the concept of inflation. It's anti. The reason why we have inflation is because America is a capitalistic market, and in a capitalist market, everything is about the come up, what your bottom line is, how much you're making. That's if we're real about things. The cost of living in the 70s could be the same as it is today. But what happened is people whatever somebody's willing to pay for anything is what somebody will sell it for. And let's just look, we've gotten to a place where we think that it costs more than that to raise a cow and to transport that cow. It's not because costs have increased to do it. The what's increased is somebody's profit. And now people don't want you messing with their profit. If a CEO made $5 million last year, they don't want to make $2 million next year.
Right.
So they're going to do whatever it takes to keep that profit coming in.
I mean, you won't. I mean, if you increase your wages and you want to keep the same pay for all your execs and everybody, I mean, if you raise a burger about 10 to 20 cents, I think a lot of that will fill the gap. So I think it's nonsense, some of these arguments. At the same time, I figured the only people that probably will hurt are the people that are like just starting business, trying to get employees. And it's like, I can't get as many as I like, because I have to start them out at $15. But at the same time, $15 can get you, I think, quality. It increases quality, and though it becomes a basic. All right, D, we'll talk. It is a basic need. A living wage. I think a lot of the arguments are nonsense.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I guess Alcino's against the minimum wage raise. Um, and I get with the checks, it's more of a control thing. Yeah, I give you checks, and we talked about UBI, the universal basic income, and it becomes dependence on the government for certain things. I guess that is an understanding of control because now everyone's counting on a check from the government. Because
Right.
I've been thinking about that as well. I've been thinking about that. But at the same time, I believe if it did happen, it would help. But at the same time, it does lead to a certain level of dependency on the government. All right, so I'm gonna work on something different. Just side note, I'm gonna work on something different relating to it, but just a little different. I don't know, and I've always tossed back and forth with the minimum wage as well. I mean, it should be a living wage. It shouldn't be, because the minimum wage was created that no one gets lowballed. No one's getting $2 or getting $1 an hour.
Right.
No one like I know you need a job, so I'm gonna give you $3 and then give me $3, give him Pastor $8.
Yeah.
Like how I can't live on that. Like I can barely eat on that. So I'm
Bro,
sure it's created.
years ago, I had people in my job. I had other engineers. It's kind of funny when I started working for my company, 2006. I got my base salary, got my commission structure or my bonus structure,
Right.
and about a year and a half after starting to work, I'm having a conversation with a couple of other engineers on the job, and one of them is complaining about his salary, and he's like, I need a pay raise. I need a huge jump in pay. I can't keep doing this for this kind of money. And I'm like, who did the interview for you?
Right.
Right. And this is not someone who looks like me.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And you don't talk salary on the job.
Right.
You're not supposed to, but
Not
you should.
Yeah.
My
No.
You should, but you're not
but
supposed
my question for him was, what are you doing now that's any different than what you were hired to do?
to. True.
And it was nothing.
True.
And all I'm saying is that means you didn't do your job in the interview process, or you didn't count up the cost,
Right.
right? Because I'm sure they gave you an explanation of what the job entails,
Right.
and
That's
you
what you
gave
make.
them what your expectation was for compensation,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so I guess the point I'm trying to make, because we've gone back and forth,
Right.
you get out what you put in.
Right.
You win based on your level of or your ability to negotiate.
Right.
Right? Winners are at the table. Winners are out front.
Right.
Winners aren't asking, they're taking.
Right.
So do I want to spend my time asking,
Right.
or do I want to spend my time going and getting it?
Right. I got you.
You feel
No
me?
doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
If I got to ask somebody, I'm going to ask God. And you know what God's going to say?
Go
What's
get it.
that?
I've given you everything you need.
Right.
So if that's what God says, why am I waiting on reparations from the government?
Right. I'm telling folks now. So yeah, I
You
mean,
can say that all you want to, but I'm
Right.
saying
yeah.
it's like if this only matters to you if you believe in God, if you believe in godly or biblical principles, right? Reaping and sowing. If you don't believe in those things, then it doesn't matter, And I don't have to, I don't want to debate that piece, because the minute you tell me, you don't believe in the scriptures or whatever, then that's kind of the end of the conversation for me.
Right.
Because for me, it's always going to come back to what the Bible says.
I got you.
Right.
But like I said, yeah, I believe I'm still 100% on reparations because it's still old. I believe there should be at least a discussion about it. I don't know what happened to the bill that they were supposed to be forming a committee to do the investigations, about reparations, I guess investigation or the study or however they were supposed to do that. I'm gonna look into that. So it's the thing is, and like we talked about earlier, like with LeBron James and the system is just, and I'm just taking what some of the Halcino said, moving the goalposts. When we begin to make strides and find a way to, oh man, we can build in this section, they start moving the goalposts. Right. So it's I think with that.
I just want to
reverse
say
needed.
this to Halcino is
Yeah.
that my argument is never that it's not owed.
Right.
That's never been my argument. It is
Nah.
owed.
Yeah.
That's absolute fact.
100%.
My argument is how much energy are we going to put into that versus just going and getting it. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I think, and my thing with reparations is it needs to just be just a full on push. Like it can't be small. It's got to be like, you know how, like we were saying with Deion Sanders, like got to be backroom stuff. I'm talking to senators and House representatives. I'm writing the check. Like I'm okay. Boom. He agrees. He agrees. You know, like because you got to get it. It has to be a movement. You know, before it's even discussed. On the floor. It has to be a movement before it even gets like now. Got one party running all three spots. This could be an opportunity to discuss it or bring it out because it's like you do it or you lose your job, or you lose the majority, because that's and at the end of the day we all know that's the push. Like we have to come to collectively vote for somebody, and I think I mentioned it broadcast back. It's like they may not agree with who we are, they may not even like us, but they want to keep their job.
Right.
So it's like we asked this one thing. We asked for this one thing, and granted reparations is a huge thing, but we asked for this one thing and you got your job. You get to keep your job. And if we collectively come together with something like that, I feel like that in itself will push a movement. But of course it starts with, each step, the 10,000 hours, each hour, pushing this thing so it comes to pass. So one thing we'll just say here, not one of us is against reparations. Pass's idea is just how much energy are we going to expend on it?
But that's only because we have too many people that are waiting, right? You have to understand the number of people. There are more people who don't look like us that are on welfare, right? But there are still too many of us sitting around living off welfare, complaining about reparations.
Right.
And so I don't argue against anybody that's fighting for it. I'm saying that we have to be careful where we put our attention. Not that we don't put attention on it, but we just have to figure out, you're right. There's always going to be people fighting for it. Let them fight, right? They've been fighting a long time for it. And while they're fighting, we keep progressing forward. But on panels like this, I'm not a politician. E is not a politician. AD is not a politician. So that's not our argument, right? My energy is on the fact that, 1991, I was homeless.
Right.
I could still be sitting around waiting, but I've been setting my own income for over 28 years now. Right. And I still believe they owe me.
Right.
Okay. But my energy has to be into making something happen. And that's all I'm saying. So I believe we're all saying the right thing, the same thing, because there are people that are fighting for it. I'm not against it. I'm saying we have to be careful where we put our energy.
Right. Yeah. Amen. All right. So we're going past my time. Appreciate you guys rocking with us, hanging with us, and supporting. And if you have an opportunity to support, go to $BOL 2019.
I'll see an angry person.
Yeah. I mean,
only sometimes though. Sometimes he be chilling, and then other times he got hot buttons that just
it's
hit
hot
him.
button. It goes, and then you
got
take
them
a stab,
fingers.
brother. Would you? And you take stabs, like
Yeah, I mean, we can have the debate, but let's just not be angry.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious about Hasina. I want to know more about him, man.
Angry is viewable through this. Yeah, it is in statements, brother. We could kind of, All right, so we're gonna go.
See you later, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you,
we
V.
love you, man. Yes, we love you, V. Mark, thanks for rocking with us. Mama Corey, thank you so much. Cole,
Alcina keeps telling me I'm wrong. This is baseless.
You typing like you angry, Hasina.
Right. Like your words matter. Words mean something, bro. Look at your words. This is baseless. That makes no sense. That's an angry person. You're not trying to get resolution. You're just trying to be right.
And listen, Hasina, I will.
You can't see nobody else side but his own.
Right there. TF right there. You're right. Really? TF. Okay, so my thing is, brother, if you have a side,
He used the
come
big
from
word.
you need to come from a positive perspective, right? We always open to ideas and ways of going about doing things. Give us solution based instead of problem situated. You feel me?
Or call me. I'll put you give me your phone number. I'll call you.
Right.
Yeah, I want to know more about you, man.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook, so just come see us.
Get him on the screen, man, so we can see his face.
Just what?
Right. But yeah, we on Facebook. Find us. AD.
You're welcome. Welcome
Ephraim's
to
not.
come on with
But
us.
Pastor,
You're
yes.
welcome to come
Yeah,
on.
call Pat.
Join
Don't
our
call me.
broadcast one day,
I
brother.
sent you the
Yeah,
email.
yeah, come on the
It's
Friday.
Love to have you. Love to have you.
So we can just have.
Don't
hash
use
it out.
TF when you come on, though.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we going because we going down this rabbit hole, and I love you, Alcino, man.
Y'all be
Appreciate
easy,
you
man.
rocking back with us.
Appreciate you,
in a
man.
minute.
Stay
Yes.
connected.
Yes, we do love, man. All right. Oh, all right. Let's see if I can. We do this. All right. Then we'll get out of here. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us. You have a great one. Take care. I don't have your info or fan. Okay. Yeah, that's other links. Hit us up at Gmail, and we see your email, and we got you. All right, we'll chat. And we appreciate you guys. Keep rocking. Stay safe. See what I'm doing.
He's still going.
All right. We see you guys in the morning. All my podcast people, I apologize. We haven't read his stuff, and you're like, what are you talking about? But it is what it is. All right, guys. We'll see you in the morning. Take care. Be blessed. Keep pushing. Keep growing. Stay safe. Keep wearing the mask. Yeah, I know, Alcino. And know that we love you, but God loves you more.
Why'd you have to say the mask? You know you don't like that.
I know. Listen, it is what it is.
I didn't want to catch that. Morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition. Good morning.